Alright, so what we're teaching is our history inside the Bible, sis, right? So you say you're from Jamaica, right? Read what you got. Numbers chapter 1. Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month.
So we're reading the understanding of who we are, or what your lineage you've come from. So the Bible says they assembled all the congregation on the first day of the what?
Of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees.
Pedigrees meaning their lineage or their families. Read.
After their families, by the house of their fathers.
By the house of their fathers. Meaning you are what your father is. Today they say Mother Nature, you come from your mother. The Bible says that you are what your father is. So, according to the Bible, if your father is Caribbean, right? Or your father is African American, or from Africa, so forth and so on, that's who you are. So, for example, some people, they might say they have a mother that's from Asia and a father that's from the Caribbean. The Bible says, according to this, that you are what your father is. So, where's your father from, sis? Jamaica. Where's your father from, sir? Where's your father from? Jamaica. Where's your father from, auntie? Jamaica. Say like me, right? So go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. So we're going on to the history of the Jamaicans. The question is, aunties, brothers and sisters, why did the Jamaicans end up in Jamaica? Why did slavery happen to the Jamaicans? Who are we inside the Holy Bible? We're saying that what? We are the Israelites, according to the Holy Bible. And we know that according to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28 goes over all of this that you see on this board. Right here. The history of the Jamaicans, the slave ships, is all documented inside the Holy Bible. And we're going to show you that right now. Get to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's jump to verse 15 first. Alright, and then we're going to jump straight to the point, verse 68. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So this is the history of the Exodus when the Israelites left Egypt. They were taken out of Pharaoh, who was another nation under the Egyptians. The Israelites were saved, delivered from the hand of Moses and Aaron, who were Israelites, who we are today. They were brought into the wilderness, and the Lord gave the commandments to keep. What we just read here in Deuteronomy 28 verse 15, the Lord told them if they broke the commandments, if they didn't listen, hearken to observe and do the commandments, that they will be under curses. Then the question is curses a good thing or a bad thing? What do you declare? Is curses a good thing or a bad thing? A bad thing. Do we agree? Right. So we're going to read some of the curses. Jump to verse 46 first.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse
45.
and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder upon thy seed forever.
Hey sister, I hope you're listening. Come forth, come forth. See that? So the curses are upon the Israelites for a sign, to identify who the Israelites are. Do you understand? The same way as you see that Sainsbury's sign, and you know that you're at Sainsbury's, the same way you see that Wood Green Station sign, and you know you're at Wood Green Station. When you read these curses, you identify, you know who the Israelites are. Verse 68 now. So when we read these curses, listen up. You know who the Israelites are, and that's talking about the Jamaicans. Read what you want.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the Bible says that what? The Lord was going to bring the Israelites back into condition of Egypt again, but this time with ships. What condition were the Israelites are in Egypt? Do you remember, auntie? Brother, what were the Israelites doing in Egypt? What were the Israelites doing in Egypt in Exodus? When you read Exodus chapter 1, right? What were the Israelites doing? Do you remember? They were slaves, sis. Remember, they were slaves. They were under hard bondage. The Lord looked upon them and He said, "Look, I'm gonna deliver them." Do you remember, or you don't remember? You don't remember. It's okay. It's okay. I don't know anything. All right, so just I'm trying to dialogue with you just to make sure we're on the same page. That's all. I don't know everything. You might forget some things. I might forget something. The reason why I'm dialoguing with you like this is to make sure you understand what I'm saying. But there's no point me just speaking and you don't understand anything I'm bringing up. So if you nod your head, I'll be like, okay, she understands. If you don't nod your head, then I'm like, okay, maybe I have to go back and bring you back to where we're at. You understand? You on the same page? You right, brother? Cool, we'll play this. So, what you got? Deuteronomy 28 verse 68 again. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Okay.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So this time, the condition that the Israelites were in Egypt, they were in hard bondage, servitude. But the Lord, the prophecy was to identify the Israelites in the future is but what? They will go back into slavery, into Egypt, but this time on ships. So you go into every single nation upon the earth, whether it's the Asian man, whether it's the so-called white man, the so-called Arab man. What nation of people went to slavery on slave ships? The so-called blacks, the Negroes, which we fit, the so-called Caribbean Indians as well. You got the Hispanics, Native American Indians. That's who the Israelites are according to the Holy Bible. And what? The Bible says what? This is the sign to identify who they are. So finish off what you got, read from the top.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there, meaning what? Once you got off those slave ships, read. Ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
You shall be what?
Sold unto your enemies.
So you see at the bottom over here this sign, what happened to the history of the so-called Negroes? When we go to those slave ships. Have you seen Django? Django? The movies Django? Roots? 12 Years a Slave? What happened to our people? Like Kunta Kinte? They were sold on auction slave blocks, given other names. That's what the Bible is talking about. So the Bible says that there you shall be sold, read,
unto your enemies.
Unto your friends, no.
Unto your enemies.
So the Bible says that what? We were going to be sold, well, the Israelites going to be sold unto their enemies. Read.
For bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Meaning redeemed. That's what the Bible says. We're just reading outside the King James Version Bible. Showing that what? The so-called Jamaicans, they're the Israelites. Why did we go into slavery? It's because what? The Lord told us back over 3,000 years ago when we were in the wilderness, that what? If we didn't keep the commandments, curses will be upon us. And one of the curses was what? That we would be brought from transatlantic slave trade, the west coast of Africa, to the Caribbean islands. That's Bible prophecy. That's what we're reading about inside the Holy Bible. What? When we go to the Christian church, our pastors are not teaching us who we are. We don't know where we're coming. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what's the solution for us as a nation of people. We don't understand why our people are suffering in the poverty, in the ghettos, in the slum. Why is this black on black crime? Why are we getting killed? Why is there so much cruelty when it comes to black people on police violence? I mean, we're saying, oh, this is so unfair. Black and black, what's it called? What do they call it? Not black and black crime. When they go, when we march. Black Lives Matter when we march. Thinking that what? Oh yes, it's just these other people, they're oppressing us. They don't have love on their heart. No, the Bible says what? These are curses that are going to identify us as a nation of people, and that showing that what? We are God's chosen people. We are the true biblical Israelites. Not those people in Stafford Hill that call themselves Jews. The Jewish man. Right? Jewish means pertaining to. We are the true biblical Israelites. Get verse 32. So we just read you one verse. Verse 32, read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand.
That's history. That's black history. Isn't that not black history? What happened? Our sons and daughters were given unto another people. And the first thing when it comes to Black History Month, when it comes to us, all we do is understand and know about what? Slavery. That's what we do. But what? It's always been inside the Bible. Now, is slavery the only thing when it comes to us as a nation of people? Are we better than that? Because some people, they get upset like, oh, why are you always bringing up about slavery? You know, slavery was years ago, and it wasn't even that long ago. You know, it was only less than 50 years ago, 60 years ago. That's when we was just given. Say against this. This is fun. We're still in slavery. Yes. Get that in verse 48. Read what you got.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So the Bible says we're going to serve our enemies, which the Lord sent against us. In that, hearken to what the Bible said. The Bible says what the Lord sent them against us. Transatlantic slave trade happened. Why? Because the Lord sent them. Sub-Saharan slave trade happened. Why? Because the Lord sent them. Now we might think, oh, this is so hard, but no, this is a godly punishment. Say that against this. The Nephilim. What about it, sister? What about it? What about it? No. we just brought it out earlier. We'll go back to it in a sec, right? I'm going to bring this out, and then we're going to bring out what's required of you, and then we're going to answer that question. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So, the Bible says that we're going to serve our enemies. The Israelites will serve their enemies. They'll go to slave ships. Their sons and daughters will be taken away from them. They will have to serve their enemies for food, for water, for clothing, and in want of all things. And our enemy will put yokes of iron upon our necks until he have destroyed us as a nation of people. So once we had yokes of iron and slavery, we were destroyed. How was we destroyed? We were taken away from us. Our names were taken away from us. We was taken away from our fathers and mothers, so we didn't know our heritage. We didn't know where we came from. We was taught a whole different language. Do you understand? Now today we call ourselves different names. Today I had a discussion with someone from Angola last week. He was saying, why do Jamaicans always separate themselves from Africans? And I said, you know what, that's true. Because what, this division. We're divided, thinking that what, we Jamaicans, we're Caribbeans, not we're the same people.
That's
Same as the African Americans, they think they're the best. They're kind of close with the Caribbeans, yes, we do know that, but they don't want to go back to Africa. They don't associate with that. Say that, sis? Yeah, but we're the same people, we're the same nation. We just, same people born in different ships up in a different location.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word, his word, his word, his word.